Hari Om. In the last shloka, Bhagavan started giving some kind of assurance to Arjuna that we saw. The question is, on what basis Bhagavan is saying it? Gurudev has in the commentary said that nothing in Hinduism will be accepted, even if it is coming from the Prophet or the Lord Himself, unless it goes through the intellect and doesn't bypass the intellect. Meaning, in the realm of intellect, logic works. Tarka or Pramana Shastra is nothing else but the other side of the coin called intellect. We all are intellect-based forms. If we take out the intellect from us, what is left in us? Nothing. When somebody is endowed with only intellect, then the explanation should be given which only intellect can understand. Even if Gurudev comes and tells me that, doctor, whatever you are doing is useless, there is only one thing called Atma Tattva. Even though it comes from Gurudeva's mouth, my mind will immediately ask a question: how? This how is coming because I am endowed with the intellect. So it goes without saying that the reader of the Bhagavad Gita has to be given the explanation in the manner which will definitely not bypass the intellect. And that is why Bhagavan is taking extra efforts to satisfy the intellectual approach of a human being to understand the things. This is part of Shravana. When we are doing the Shravana, mere listening is not Shravana. Shravana means the word has to be taken in after being struck repeatedly on the anvil of intellect. So now Bhagavan is saying, Partha, na iha, na amutra. Whom is he referring to? What is he referring to? What is iha and what is amutra? Tasya vinashasya na vidyate. That will not be destroyed. What that? Iha and amutra will not be destroyed. But what is iha and amutra? The first thing to understand is iha, we know, here, now, all right. Amutra, we have heard of word apurna. Amutra, what is this word amutra? See, in English, we don't say that I have not completed my urine. In medical science also, we say he is not voiding his urine completely. When a person suffers from prostate gland problem, he comes and says that when I pass the urine, I don't feel satisfied. That's a layman's language. A doctor speaks this way, that he is not able to void the urine completely. In other words, he is suffering from amutrata. You void something, mutra, urine is called mutra. The reason because it is stored in a sac called bladder. That which is stored only can be voided. Why voided? Because it can't be avoided. That which can be avoided need not be voided. What is the meaning of this? The person has already accumulated the urine. As a drushtanta, the person has accumulated already his karma vasanas. So the bladder called sanchita holds all the vasanas like urine, and they are to be or ought to be voided. So there are mutra vasana, amutra Mutra Vasana. Mutra Vasana, Iha. Right now, we all are in the satsanga with a body called Pradeep ji, body called Manish ji. What is this? This is Mutrata. We are already voided in this birth. With the help of Prarabdha, things have come to the fruition. But there are many other things like Manish ji, Pradeep ji, Dr. Saab. There are so many births still pending, waiting. Where are they waiting? In the bladder of Sanchita to be voided in the coming births. Amutra. So Amutra and Yiha both are referring to Karmashaya Sanchaya. In other words, Bhagavan is saying, Partha, none of the karmas done with the desire of gaining the fruit can never ever be destroyed, even though they have appeared iha or yet to appear amutra. That's why no word apurna, amutra, yet to be voided. Only for those who have avoided, that means those who have done nishkama karma, there is nothing accumulated to be voided. For them, this is not applicable because they have gone beyond the karma. So, na iha, na amutra eva, vinashasya tasya. Tasya means of the karma vasanas vidyate. Now, if this is applicable to the bad thing or a bad karma or whatever, it is also applicable to the good karma. That is what Gurudev is emphasizing in the video. You do good or bad. The law is very clear. It has to be enjoyed or suffered. You have sown the seed. Now, whether you get a good harvest or a bad harvest depends upon what kind of seed you have sown. But after the seed is sown, you cannot say, I'm sorry, I don't want to take the fruit of it. You will have to. Let us take a very simple example. We come every Saturday for the satsanga. A karma is done. A karma is done with a desire of understanding the Vedanta Shastra so that one day I will become free from the bondage and become mukta. We all have come here with desire. We are not desireless people. Only thing is, this is a kalyanakari desire. This is something that will lead to the path of nishreyasa. What will be the result? Result is now amutra. But in the next birth, we shall be placed positively more and more into the satsanga. We may be born very close to a holy place. We may by chance, by opportunity, by sheer coincidence, whatever you call it, you'll be close to a place where Bhagavad Gita is being recited. In fact, right now we have come together in a distant land of desert for the sake of a Mahan Yogi that appeared in India. None of us, or maybe one of us, have seen him. Still, we are together under his shadow to study the Bhagavad Gita because the Amutra was there in the last birth, is now Iha. It is fructified, so we are together. And since Arjuna is Arjuna, stainless, silvery, pure, Bhagavan in the second line is only talking of Kalyana Kruta because Arjuna will not do anything which is not Kalyana Krutam. We are all supposed to be Shankara. Sham karoti iti Shankaram. Sham means Kalyana. So if we are trying hard to do our own Kalyana, to that extent we are Shankara. So Bhagavan says, Nahi. Kaschit api. Kaschit api. No way even the smallest of Kalyana Kruta. Now imagine it is not only Kalyana Kruta. Kruta means it has to be done by you. Lord will come and give it to me. No. Gurudev has time and again defined blessing or grace in a much different word. After the fields have been properly plowed, good seeds have been sown by sheer hard work, then the showers from the cloud come, which is called grace. उठो ज्ञानी खेत सवारो बह निसरेगा पानी अवधूता गगन घटा गहरानी. Lord's blessing is there in the form of cloud, but only showers when the field is made ready by the farmer in the manner Kalyana Krut. If you have done, Arjuna, Kaschit Durgatim na gachati. A great and a grand assurance. That is the reason why for so many years and years and years, throughout the history of mankind, 99% of the people are doing bad deeds, but the teachings in the house, in the school, in the organization, in the office, everywhere is do good. It's quite an irony. Entire world, everywhere, look at any textbook of any child in any school, there is a morality, moral science. This man, help him. Anybody who is in, you should be always helping him. You should not think of yourself. You should be selfless. All good is taught to us. Kalyana Kruta is taught. Ideally speaking, there should be a book which tells you how to steal, how to do, because that is what majority of people are doing. But it doesn't happen that way because of the categorical imperative as defined by Immanuel Kant. Something that pushes you from inside to do good. That is why the cruelest of cruel criminal also goes to the religious place. And to that extent, even for that criminal, it will not go waste, because nahi kalyana kruta kaschit durgatim tat gachati. Tat has been very nicely explained by Suresh ji. Actually, tat means father. Tat is a word used for the father. Here it is used as a son. How same word is father and son? Is because, of course, tanoti iti tanyata, tanu, shariram. The father is nothing else but the son. But also let us take this drushtanta in lakshanartha manner. Why a father is referred as son here? Because father is the future shape of the son. The son after some time goes into the shoes of father. It is a transformation from a perhaps immature a person getting converted into a mature person. There is a growth indicated there. The Lord is saying, son, in due course you are going to become me, because I am your father. In case, son, in case your effort of doing good for yourself, Kalyana Kruta, gets clipped by death, Gurudeva's words, clipped by death or arrested by sensuous temptation. Clipped by death, instrument is lost. Till the new instrument comes, hold on. You're in the waiting line. Appropriate environment, as Gurudeva called in the video. Appropriate environment to fructify the vasanas, a type of body that you require. Your vasana is of a dog. The body of a dog is to be given to you. Now you can't be given an elephant's body. Why? Elephant will not bark. Why? vasana of that particular type, and the tendencies are always properly tuned, and then the birth is given. That is why when you are born as a dog, you don't have to be trained to raise the leg to pass the urine. Why? It is inculcated, inbuilt into the vasanas of Shwana. That means the advice to the Partha is fine because he is on a higher echelons of development of consciousness. Problem is, what about me? What is that I can take from this line for me? For me to take is, I have lot of amutra that is going to happen. That means I have lots of vasanas to be voided in future births. Now, I do not know what type of vasanas I have in that storage. I only know what has been given to me as prarabdha in this birth, but that itself is telling me so many things. Since birth till date, I am suffering and suffering. If we ask, whenever we three, four friends or any neighbor or anybody sit and talk, what do we talk? Too difficult a life. When I was small, there was nothing. There was this. Still, I studied this. I did it. It is all a ballad of cries and cries and cries. We cry so much. That is why this is called Nara. Naraha kayanti iti narakaha. The place where human beings cry is called Narak. So we are in Narak. How often we have come together as friends and talk to each other. What a life, beautiful it is. How nice. Did you see that? We always say, you know what? So much of this thing, politics, corruption, and this, and all crying. Why are we subjected to these pangs of sorrows every now and then? Because of my karma. Gurudeva stayed in same world as mine, in the same country, in the same place, spoke the same language. If you ask Gurudeva, are you also very, very painful? You are having sorrow. He says, hey, no, I have no idea what sorrow is. I have left sorrow long back. What it means is, I may have enormous amount of vasanas in my karmashaya, which will force me to take birth umpteen times and suffer, and umpteen times and suffer. So what should I be doing? As much as possible, I have to reduce the stock in my sanchita by not adding to it through my current prarabdha. I have been condemned in the jail called human being's birth. All right. Now in the jail again, I will not do any delinquency so that I am again put into the jail. 15 years rigorous imprisonment, agreed, but 16th year he should be free. In the 15 year, again I create another further punishments of 15 years for another 1,000 times. That is the issue which should not happen, because then there will be no amutra. When amutra is not there, Vinasha question doesn't come. Amutrasya Vinashasya na vidyate, the reason being that which has already performed with the purpose of fruit, any action, it has to sprout. God cannot stop it. Forget about you and me. Unless Jnanagni sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute. That is like saying that when you reach the top of the Mount Everest, there is no further mountaineering. Agreed, accepted. The problem is that is for that Sherpa who reached at the top. What about us? Our only attempt should be, every inch of ascent on the sadhana that I do, I should not fall down. So amutra has to be kept where it is and not increased. And what is the methodology for that? Nahi kalyana kruta. Gurudeva says, Bhagwan says, do kalyanakari thing. What will happen? It will help you to go upward. How do you do that? What is Kalyanakari? Suresh has explained how Amar Kosha defines Kalyanam. Every activity that is done by forgetting the self is Kalyanakrit. When me is absent, what is in it for me? How can it benefit me? What will happen to me? What should I be doing for myself? Me, mind, myself, when it is buried, all such acts are Kalyana Kruta. Let us take a very fine example. We are all in this satsang and we are talking few words about it. What is the purpose of you and me speaking here few words? The purpose is to study the scripture under the guidance of Guru Deva so that it helps me and my all bandhus. Ekameka sahaya karo. Through sahaya, supantha is to be obtained. That is why we have come together. Then it is Kalyana Kruta. Because you are not thinking of only yourself. All, sarve bhavantu sukhina. But the moment we say that I will speak so beautifully with my eloquent English and my power on Sanskrit also I'll try to show so that everyone in the satsanga feels that how intelligent Dr. Saab is, that is exactly a Kalyana Kruta. Because you thought of me, mind, myself. So Kalyana Kruta is called Patipaksha Bhavana. In Yoga, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, we have studied Pratipaksha Bhavana. Pratipaksha Bhavana, I constantly lie. I have a habit of lying. What is Pratipaksha Bhavana? I will only speak truth and truth and truth. You take the antidote. I have too much of craving for food. What do? Eat neem. Eat bitter things. Karela. Why? Pratipaksha Bhavana. You feel like going to the movie. You force yourself to go to the temple. Pratipaksha Bhavana. This is called deliberate inculcation of Kalyana Krutam. By this manner, knowing fully well that Bhagavan has said, Nahi Kalyana Kruta Vinashasya. Durgatim is impossible. So that means what we do? We go for what is called as pygmy saving account. In those who are not rich, we are not spiritually rich people. We are very poor people. So our savings in spirituality are very few. Maybe sometime Bhagwan Rama's name, Krishna's name, Gurudeva's thought, some Bhagavad Gita, small currencies we have. But we will deposit that in our box called Punya Sanchaya. By doing this Kalyana Kruta, somebody is not well, go and help him. If you cannot help him, use the words, it doesn't cost anything. Say, you will be all right soon, my brother. Work for others. These are called smaller currencies. You accumulate them. Once we accumulate them, then what happens? Bhagavan has given the assurance, no saving will be destroyed. As a result, Bhagavan will say that this man is very bad, but at the same time, he's trying hard to be good. Then he will put us in an environment where your goodness will increase. Durgatim nagachati. By simply going with the palanquin of Mahaprabhu Chaitanya. Why to talk of human beings, Maharaj? People of Gurudeva's stature or Swami Vivekananda, even now where they have taken a seat, if you just go and sit at that place, you will have some transformation. You are not doing anything. You are just getting into the presence of the place where Gurudeva sat. Why? It stirs up all that is good in you, Kalyana Kruta. Anything that stirs the good in you, Kalyana Kruta. Why go to temple? You can go in the bar and also meditate. But we are not that comfortable and confident like Gurudeva. He can do that. We can't. So what do? We go to the bar and the liquor comes into the mind. Instead, we go to the temple, Pratipaksha Bhavana, the God thing comes in the mind. When Pratipaksha Bhavana inculcates, Kalyana Kruta happens. You will ring the clap the bell, then fold your hands, then you will see Balaji in front of you, or Rama or Krishna Bhagwan in front of you. Your things will get elevated, the thoughts at least, because it is very difficult to think of bad things in temple. It is very easy to think of bad things in bad places like a bar or a brothel. In the brothel, what thoughts come in the mind? All vulgar thoughts. Why? It matches. So Kalyana Kruta means any place, sthala, kala, vyakti, sampark or sanga, all has to be good. Sat sangatve nisangatvam. God has told this, Shankaracharya. Nothing else but veritable Lord Shankara himself has told us. Sat sangatve. So if nothing happens, there are many children who don't want to go to the school. What do the father say? At least let him sit there. Madam, please let him sit there. At least he will get used to it. So the child goes there, he doesn't like it, and one day he starts liking it. That is why Bhagwan's assurance is a great assurance to us. Now, in case suppose you get clipped by the death in this journey, then what happens? Prapya punya krutam lokan ushitva shashwatihi samaha. Prapya is the word. Prapya means obtained by. Having attained, having obtained. Obtained means who obtains? One who does only obtains. Not given by God. You yourself, by sheer your action or karma, you have obtained prapya. God doesn't give punya. God doesn't give papa. We get papa, we get punya as per the law enunciated by the Lord. We got lot of punya and we went to the Lord and said, thank you, Lord, you gave me this much of punya. He will say, sorry, I didn't give it to you. You got it. I just made a law. How punya can be obtained, how papa, that law is made by me. I created electricity. Now you can use it to enlighten your house, or you can put your finger and burn to death. That's not my problem. Electricity is my law, is my creation. Prapya punya krutam, because you have done good deeds. Lokan. Lokan means lokyate bhunjate iti lokaha. That which is experienced is called loka. Anubhava. Anubhava is possible only when you are separate from that which is to be experienced. That means you are still in the bondage, because of which you are getting this so-called punyam. So prapya punya, by having attained the world of righteousness or a good deed, lokan ushitva, having dwelt in that experience. 100 rupees you had earned, so you have been given one night stay. Till one night is over, enjoy yourself. Till one night you will stay. Ushitva. Ushakala. In the early morning, the day is coming to stay. That's why it is Ushakala. It is harbinger of the day that is about to come. So by staying in those places, Shashwatihi Samaha, everlasting years. But how punya can everlast? Everlasting, the word itself indicates everlasting means lasting till ever, not never. Everlasting means it will last as if it is going to last. Moment we say lasting, that means we are talking within time. And when we talk within time, the time has to end. Nothing is permanent, it can be everlasting. What is the meaning of this? Time is the constraint for the existence for those who are in this world. Those who are not in this world, time itself is not a constraint, because time is the constituent of the creation. Time is not beyond creation. Time is encompassed within creation. So even if you have punyam of Brahmadeva, then what will happen? That is the highest time limit you can think. Why? Because after that the creation will be dissolved. So even if you have punyam that will give you good results, which will last you till samaha, years. Years itself means counting. Till everlasting. Everlasting is till the end of creation, till pralayam. Even then, it will have a time as a limitation. And this is told by Yogeshwara simply because he is trying to tell it to the person who is still within the creation. Arjuna is trying to go out of he's trying to transcend the time. But so far he is within the time. So it is said, because when time is there, then only papam, punyam and existing and not existing is there. Yes and no is there. Dvandva is there. All that is within the creation. So prapya punya krutam lokan ushitvam shashwatihi samaha. Till the time the punya can happen to you, till that time. Shuchinam Srimanta Gehe, Srimantam Gehe, Shuchinam Srimantam. Now, Srimanta, immediately we say that 10 cars, 15 this, 25 that. Srimanta is a feeling. Kopinavantaha khalu bhagyavantaha. Shankaracharya says, one who has got only one small underwear or small kopina is the mightiest, happiest, wealthiest. चाह मिटी, चिंता मिटी, मनवा बेपरवाह, जिनको कछु नहीं चाहिए वही शहंशाह. Who is शहंशाह? The one who doesn't desire, according to Kabir Maharaj. That means one who is completely kafallaka. There is nothing he has. Akinchan is Lord. Depending upon what Srimantam is, but supposing your punya karma and the desire is for becoming really rich in this world, then you will be maybe Adani, Ambani, Bill Gates. This is also nothing else. Punya krutva. All the top rich people that we see is punya krutam. Shuchinam is different than Srimantam. Shuchinam is the purity of the heart or the chitta shuddhi. That, depending upon that, suppose somebody is already in the ascent in sadhana, he will be born in a house where there is a continuous mantrochara, where there is a lot of discussion about the scriptures. That happens to the Shuchinam Ge. So the house that you may be born into, just to give a small example or actual truthful example, is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was being looked after by Mathur Babu, the son-in-law of Rani Rashamati in Dakshineshwar. He was quite devoted to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and he supplied him with tons of money for whatever was required for Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, including once on a pilgrimage, he gave feast to the people of the village in Varanasi days after days, simply because Ramakrishna Paramahamsa wanted to feed everyone. So he left his purse open for Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So one of the Shishya of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa asked him that he has done so much punya, you think he will be emancipated, he will get mukti? And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa smiled and said that no, there are desires in him still left. So what will happen? He will be born in some place as a very rich king. What is the meaning of this? Punya krutva srimantam gehe. Because he had done punya krut, kalyana krut, he was helping Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So he was yoga brashta to that extent, but the desire of him was to enjoy the life. But there must be some yogi whose desire is not to enjoy the life, but his desire is, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose had a desire to spend 5 minutes at the feet of Swami Vivekananda. He said, in the whole world, in the Lord, I will ask only one thing. 5 minutes at the feet of Swami Vivekananda. Shuchinam Gehe. He will be born again. He will be given the seat at the feet of the Gurudev of the caliber of Swami Vivekananda. This is a great assurance given by Lord. It presupposes a strong current of reincarnation, and Hindu Dharma is emphatic about reincarnation, not making any passing reference. In other religions, there are passing references of being born again. Nobody has dwelt more into the other lokas. Hinduism has taken it on complete explanations have been given on this particular thing. So that is why, in terms of Yogeshwara, what is the message to people, poor people in sadhana like us? We are not Arjuna. We are dust particles in the Adhyatma. Then what is the Sandesha from Bhagavan to us? Kalyana Kruta. That is the Sandesha. Keep doing everything that will make welfare or Kalyanam, so that Durgatim Natat Gachati. And then one day will come, from first standard we will reach the 12th, and then to the college, and then we will be in the place of Arjuna, where finer modalities of advice will be given to us. This is the manner in which the two shloka Yogeshwara is trying to give us assurance, emphasizing on reincarnation, asking and also explaining the continuity of the process of the Sthula and Sukshma Sharira getting transformed into one or the other births, so that a continuous evolution of consciousness takes place. Hari Om.